Good morning, everybody. Beautiful Saturday morning. And what's the first thing we should do every Saturday morning? Is get up early, have a look at our stamps for an hour or two. Now, I was thinking of the subject of stamp collecting and how it can become so overwhelming. You have to try and define what you want to collect. Now, a lot of people go, I want to collect one of everything. And that's great, but I don't think you're going to get it done in your lifetime. And I know I struggled with that. So I shortened everything down to Australia, and then I shortened the years, and then I got smaller and smaller and smaller. And now I've delved into specialisation, and I can have a small period of time and pick certain stamps, and I can concentrate on those stamps for a while, have a big interest in them, enjoy them, think the most of them, and then move on into that sort of same area and specialise on another stamp. Now, I've picked a stamp and I've went through and I've tried to set it out a bit neater and rewritten all my little notes on them, and I'll try and explain what I am talking about. All right, so let's have a look. All right, what we're going to have a look at is the 3D blue King George VI stamp. Normally, a person would only collect one mint and one used. Some people only collect one of them just to say they have got that one stamp. But in reality, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different stamps. And then if you want to use, there's another 6. So we'll come over here to this wonderful book. And this is an Australian Commonwealth Specialist Catalogue, King George VI, from Brunswick White. Absolutely gorgeous. And you go along and it will explain to you that this stamp came out in these dates and the types of the 3D stamp. Now, unfortunately, this book is not colour. I think the new book will be all colour, which will be beautiful. And it's basically saying the first one that came out had white wattles. What does that mean? Well, if you have a look at the wattles, they're a bit blurry. So when the die was cut for the stamp, it wasn't done really well. And when they put the ink on, it came out a bit blurry. So they took it back and said, let's re-engrave that, make the wattles stand out a bit more. So they did. So then you've got two different stamps. But when you have a look at it, it goes down the bottom here that when they redid that die, the TA was joined, the joined TA. So you've got die 1 white wattles, die 1, which the TA is joined. And then you come over here and you've got these. So they went, oh, that's no good, let's fix that up. And then you've got die 1A. And die 1A is a TA floor. And then die 2, and you just carry on, carry on. So if we have a look over here, close up, die 1 white wattles. Mint unhinged, $400 stamp, right? Look at that. See how blurry the wattles are? This one, the TA is joined. Now that one is good, but this one on the used one, you can really see in the right hand side, the TA is joined. I'll go get my pointing stick. It's right over here. Can you see that? The TA is joined. Now, this one here is die 1A used, TA floored. So I think it is that T. See the T at the top, the postage? The T comes down into a point. So when they've gone along to cut the TA apart, they've cut a bit too much on the bottom of the T. Let's have a look at the bottom here. Same again, thin T. Then you've got die 2 used, the T is fixed. So nice, perfect stamp, $35, and the T has been fixed. And then, I couldn't believe it, the die 2, so the die 2 T fixed is a chalked stamp, and the die 2 thin is unchalked, rightio? So if we have a look over in the book, now when they say chalk surfaced, and I had to look it up this morning, basically that is so people can't plagiarize the paper. If you scrape on it, it'll come up, but you have a look at that I've highlighted, that's the thickness of a chalk surface paper. And then if you have the unsurfaced, it's thinner. So really, there's two different stamps, a thin and a thick. So you've got to save those. Mint unhinged is $70, $35. And over here, $75 and $6. So you've got to collect them. And then finally, they said, right, let's just redo the whole die completely, and you got die 3. Now, mint lightly hinged is $25. If we come over here, it's $60 if you got mint unhinged. So really, what we've done with one stamp, I've now specialised. I've just used a specialised catalogue, so I'm not a specialist. I've got people writing this book for me. They're the specialists, but I've just gone ahead and found each one of those stamps. And how do you do that? You go to auction lots, you buy online, and the thing is, these will be sold online, these stamps, rightio. You'll pick up a mint unhinged version of one of these stamps, and people think it might be a die 3 with $60, but really, you'll look at it and go, no, they're white wattles. That's a $400 stamp. And that's how you make money. You pay $120, $130 for this book. You learn about all these little bits and pieces. And then you can make money by buying stamps that people don't know about. Isn't that just truly amazing? They're just spares. But I think that page looks quite nice. And normally I go from left to right, but I've just gone down so we can show each stamp. Die 1 white wattles, die 1 TA join, die 1 TA floor, die 2 T fixed, die 2 thin, die 3. Absolutely amazing. Just love that. What a great start to the day. You learned something new. If you learned anything, you need to get a specialist catalogue, because I love this stuff. And now, to make it even more fun, then you can find little floors. So they've got plate varieties. I just saw this one this morning and I was reading about it. This plate variety here, 90, 91, 92. See the bottom of Australia? See how it's nice and thick, that black line, and it goes thin? That is the variety. And it's for those 3 stamps. That's 90, 91, and 92. Isn't that great? And that, see, look at this here. Bottom frame thinned. And that's worth $650 mint unhinged, $350 used. I know I've got a whole heap of these lying around in a stock book somewhere, so I better go and check and see if I've got myself a $400, $500 or $350 stamp. See, this is the fun. When you learn all about this specialist stuff, you might be sitting on gold that you don't know about. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Enjoy collecting stamps. I do. I love it.